this sign is different, minus sign. This is positive sign. You can see Chaturanga Glacial, Keithley Glacial, and this area we could not get due to loss of coherence. And that is ascending pass. This is descending pass, and I think this, this is one of the MTech student did this one, and you can see glacial velocity is maximum 16 centimeter per day, and this of course this area is also moving. This glacier, PP glacier, some glacier is also moving this 4 centimeter per day. And this is look direction is very important, whether minus or positive. If anything is moving towards the radar, it is positive. Away from the radar, it is negative. And now, see, so far I presented very old data. What is the use of 1996? Let us come to very latest free data, Sentinel SAR data, November 26, December. We have taken this winter because uh, the motion is very slow and we cannot use the data more than 1 day gap. And now the gap is 6 days. And within 6 days, glacial move and then we lose a lot of coherence. Coherence means correlation. And we get fringes here because of slow motion. And here is very fast. There is no fringes. And again fringes here. And not much fringes here. Whereas you can see fringes, so many fringes here. And here you could not find fringes in Sentinel image. Is also microwave. There are two satellites and Himalayan area. The two satellites acquired in 6 days gap. Whereas Delhi and Mumbai, it acquires 12 days gap. That is the difference here. At repeativity coverage. And now you can see the coherence. We have to find out always coherence in SAR interferometry. This is the coherence image. The bright is there. You can see fringes. Here also coherent. There is no coherence here. And that's why fringes are lost. When fringes are lost, you can't estimate. And then by this, each fringe will be 2.8 centimeter motion. Uh, then you take one constant value, go on counting, and then total velocity you can calculate. And now coming to Gangotri Glacial, the latest data 6 days, and particularly this is summer, and in summer because we could not get data in winter, that's why we see and completely lost the coherence correlation between August 21 and 27, and everything is dark, then you cannot estimate. But some people are using this advantage with loss of coherence means where is the melting? What are the melting areas? You can see this melting. Also, snow cover melting areas we can map using loss of coherence. The coherence is very useful. Leakage of canal, leakage of water, and then and level of water in lakes and coastal change mapping. So many applications are there. Differentials are interconnected. Now we will come to last part of this one, Jammu Kashmir. Also we mapped to Kashmir University. Professor Ramshu, he asked me, we are working on glacier. Let us see any interferograms we will get. And we got December data because slow movement of the glacier in December. And I think this is around 12 days gap and 12 days gap. So we could not get 6 days gap, and then we can see some glacial, Congress glacial, and this is the optical image Sentinel-2, and this Sentinel-1 micro interferogram. You can see some glacial movement here, and other areas coherence is lost. And some other glacial also we have seen there. You can see some interferograms, and sometimes due to snow accumulation also we will get interferograms. But one thing here with the snow accumulation, elevation changes. that we are using SRTM. That is 20 years old. Why? Then sometimes it confuses. It is accumulation of snow. These fringes are or movement of the snow. One has to be very careful. And if you use digital elevation model close to sentinel data acquisition, it is very good. Some people are generating digital elevation model using sentinel data itself. That is possible with 6 days gap. Now, this is the slide I have taken from my colleague doing PhD here using L-band. I think we have some influence with Alos, Japan. Uh, uh, then they acquired data with 12 days gap, and then they could map the glacier with L-band data. This is L-band means wavelength is more, and they could get nice fringes with even 14 days or 12 days gap. I think this is something wrong here. March 10, actually it is a 12 days gap. We can get this is a Bara segregation. So many people study and the Samudra Tapu, and we will see very nice fringes, very good coherence is preserved, and then they could estimate the glacial velocity in horizontal direction uh, up to maximum 25 centimeter per day. This is not line of sight. This is hard. But L band is not so accurate as compared to C band. That is very important. And so this, 1.5 lakh, if you buy image, SAR data from JAXA, and through announcement of opportunity or to submit a project for glacial mapping or some research purpose, you will get Dynamics data 12-meter resolution, them, and then we will also get allows data. We have a lot of projects with JAXA in Japan and then DLR in Germany. We are getting data free of cost. Otherwise, we have to buy 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs. It's very, very expensive. Now, and this is one of my student. And we took to very high resolution TerraSAR Dynamics 3 meter, and with a gap of I think you see September 8, 19, we are around 40 days gap, and you can do offset tracking method because X band is very sensitive. Even 1 day is not allowed. That if glacial is moving, disadvantage with DMSR is if a pixel, one pixel to another pixel moves more than lambda, you will not get it. This is the major problem. And whether building subsidence, whether landslide or anything, it has to move slowly. And it moves fast more than lambda, we cannot get that displacement. So we have gone intensity tracking, means boulders and a very strong reflector. We can take as a reference. From that reference, in 14 days, how much it has moved like that, we can estimate uh, that glacial velocity is upset tracking. But this is not millimeter accuracy. Is 1/10 of pixel resolution. The accuracy is 1/10 of the pixel resolution, and accuracy is sometimes it will go. I think 30 centimeter error. 30 centimeter error in movement you will get in this, particularly this data. And this is a horizontal movement and is not line of sight velocity maximum. You can see this one. Now, having explained all those things, how to do yourself. And this very great thing from European Space Agency is they developed a wonderful software that supports all Sentinel satellite, all Landsat satellite, all ComSat satellite, all Japanese, all satellites it support both microwave and optical, except IRS. IRS, somebody has to write injection of the IRS data. And including source code, this data is very free. You can do very nice tutorials are available, interferometry, upset tracking, and also data is available. That wonderful, nice data, whatever there, you can get from 1991 to present in all these data sets freely. Even allows Japan also giving old data free of cost. And you cannot get commercial satellite data. Terrasar X, Germany, RadarSat, Canada, and we have to spend a lot of money for that. And in blacks are I conclude my presentation with this short conclusions. We could map Himalayan glaciers using random next data and also ISRO technique, and we observed within one day 20-25 centimeter uh, movement maximum. Of course, it will vary. At some place it will 5 centimeter also. Along the Gangotri glacier, we can see variation from 3 centimeter to 11 centimeter per day. And offset tracking, my student observed 16 centimeter per day maximum. And Sentinel 6 days decorrelate, so very important to apply. And the NISR can acquire data at 12 day. NISR L band is very good, and we can map deviation movement with NASA ISRO SAR. It will be launched in 2022 in beginning, and allows also very good, but acquiring data is very tough. We have to pay money. Offset tracking is alternative to SAR interferometry. And then thank you. And this is I have taken photograph in 2004 when I went to field work, and then suppose one night we stayed, and then daytime we can see civilian. And okay, thank you. Any questions? We'll stop sharing.
Thank you very Thank you very much, sir. Sir, there is
sharing?
one question. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. So there is one question raised by Vikram Patil. Can we able to compute glacier depth by using SAR data?
Oh, I think in my department, one student is doing PhD, is relating glacial velocity to thickness of the glacier. I don't know, that is indirect way of doing with modeling and all this thing. One student has done some work. Yes, and it all depend on the not penetration. See, for example, some radar signal can penetrate even 100 meter into ice. Okay, but that technique is different. Ground penetrating radar. And my student, of course, my colleague is not under me, is working and glacial velocity and then related to some empirical equation glacial depth. Okay, I'm not expert in that.
Thank
And
you, sir.
one professor in civil engineering, he always takes to this ground penetrating radar in different glaciers, Himachal Pradesh and Sikkim, and drag on the glacier. And he is facing problem, is not touching ice. It has a depthy area, it's a lot of soil moisture. He is facing a lot of problem in conducting ground penetrating radar experiments. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question. Sanjeev Kumar asked which software they can use for SAR data processing for landslide investigation in Himalayan range.
Okay, this one very important. This snap, this is the snap software. You see there, this is the snap, and you have to use Stanford method for PS INSAR. And, actually, I have done one consultancy project with railways, and they are laying railway along the coast, very big hills of Jammu Kashmir, and they slide and they will block this railway track. That's why they asked me the stability of the hill slopes using the radar interferometer. What we did, we have used this snap and then Stanford University uh, software. Both you have to combine. That they have given a lot of manuals are available. You can map landslide and without buying software. Yes, sensor is patented is for educational purpose. This software is around 30 to some very costly. We can say around 20 lakhs to 30 lakhs. IIRS Dehradun, you can go, you can use it, commercial software, and Chak Ahmedabad, some NRS is also having, but not all modules, and you cannot buy this costly software. Even we are using free software. The same thing. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. I think this answer will satisfy our participants' queries, and they are asking so much questions, but due to the time limitation,
Yes,
we
yes,
limit
sorry, I exceeded.
our yes. No, sir, it's okay, sir. We have next presentation. So I would request Ms. P. Sri Lakshmi, Head PDSS, DMSG, NRSC, ISRO, to enlighten our participants regarding National Database for Emergency Management. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Yesterday, how the space-based technology can be used for generating the disaster-specific products. So in my presentation, you'll be seeing how actually these data can be used on the ground. That means using other databases and decision support tools, how this technology can be used by decision making in relief and rescue operations. So the background for this is after tsunami in 2004, there is a paradigm shift in the government ideology from the relief centric operation to holistic approach covering all phases of the disasters. So towards this, they have adopted a strategy which is integrated, proactive, and technology driven, with the participation of multi institutions, that means government and as well as non-government, so that to have a holistic approach and have a generic database for the. So this ideology was translated to NIDM, that is called National Database for Emergency Management, by Ministry of Home Affairs, and the responsibility was given to NRSC to implement this. So there are the three main objectives of NIDM. That NIDM means, the name itself speaks, you need to have a generic database for entire country to be in place to provide timely information to the decision makers in the event of disasters. It has three main objectives. One is to have a multi-scale geospatial database at various scales. That means 1:50,000 scale for the entire country, 1:10,000 for 350 multi-hazard prone districts, and at final level details for covering the major towns or cities in the country. Why multi-scale means? Because it is a generic database, so to cover both man-made and natural disasters, so you need to have different resolutions or different scales of the data you need to have. For example, if you are taking a flood inundation or flood pattern in the case of Brahmaputra or in Assam, you need to have a data which is at a coastal resolution, or you can have a district level or state level. This thing is enough for you. But if you are studying a damage assessment at the district level, you need to have different scale of data. Or if you are about a road accident or rail accident, or it is if you want to study infrastructural damage, you need to have much finer resolution or much finer scale data you need to have. So keeping in view of all different kinds of disasters, a multi-scale geospatial database is envisaged by a technical committee. So the very first and primary objective is to have a database in space. So then after having the database in place, users cannot directly use the database. You need to have certain decision support tools where which is user-friendly GUI-based tools, so that the disaster managers or decision makers can use this DSS tools for relief and rescue operations. And to disseminate these services or products, you need to have an infrastructure facility. So that infrastructure facility we have to establish, and to have a disaster recovery site, a mirror site, you need to have one DR site which has to be established at MHA, New Delhi. So this is at a broader level. These are the three main concepts of NDEM. So with all these objectives, we have implemented NDM in the form of a geoportal. It is a web-enabled geoportal, and for entire country or 37 states and districts from 2013 onwards. So initially we have taken the data or pooled the data from various organizations. Major chunk I can say from ISRO generated projects, and the database is in place. Then we have generated certain decision support tools, and infrastructure facilities also established high-end computing infrastructure at NRC Shadnagar campus. So if you see NDM concept, it will encompass in the four phases of disaster management. So during the preparedness, first we put the data or organize the data so that which is useful during the disasters at one place. And this portal will have so many modules or products, so which will be used during preparedness phase. It has current news for disasters and alerts and warnings from nodal agencies, and some hazard zonation maps of various disasters, and some training and there. This portal also has some interaction services, and during the response periods, you have incident reporting mechanism is there, inundation maps or disaster specific products are there, decision support tools are there, and resource management modules to allocation of essential commodities. Again, interaction tools are used SMS or email in the response phase. So in the recovery phase, you have damage assessment statistics are there, and interaction services, and during the mitigation you have PDNA tools are there, flood hazard maps are there, capacity building is there. So there are different modules which can cater almost all four phases of disaster management. So if you see the journey of NDM from 2013 to 2020, the very first 2013 with available database and minimum GIS based tools are there, and we had conducted some nodal officers meeting and PMB meetings to collect the data, and this particular first portal was launched in VPN domain, wherein only few states which are having the VPN connection were able to use this particular version. So in the 2015, in order to increase the outreach of this particular NDM portal, it is launched in the internet domain with the secured access with the username and passwords. So which if it has enhanced database and as well as mobile applications were there. So we have signed an MOUs with the National Disaster Response Force and SDRF State Disaster, and regional trainings were conducted to create the awareness along the different locations of the. In 2016, we have customized our portal to suit the requirements of NDRF and NDRF training programs. Now, mock drills were conducted. And the current version is NDM version 3 that is launched in 2017, which has a device-independent and platform-independent version. And it has many more decision support tools are there. It is bilingual, and I'll be explaining in details what are all the features in the coming slides. So in 2018, we have customized this portal to various state government people to suit their requirements, and some mobile apps are customized to the state government for geotagging of Anganwadi states and all, and specific data integration is done for Himachal Pradesh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli in Andhra Pradesh. And again, for version 3, regional training programs are conducted. So in 2019, then API-based decision support tools are generated. Mobile apps for crowdsourcing is developed. Some more user-friendly applications are enhanced in 2019 support. And 2020, we have designed and developed the latest NDM version, which is ready for release with the new features, enhanced database, and as well as the design and development of NDM Lite, that is mobile version of NDM is developed. Yeah, so the current version of NDM version 3 was launched in May 2017 in the presence of Honorable Union Minister. And this entire portal is developed using open source technologies, and this particular version is compatible with mobile, smartphones, tablets, laptop, etc., and it has a bilingual support. Till version 2 is concerned, we used to give access only to the state nodal departments, whereas with the version 3, the access is extended up to district level. So around 718 districts across all 37 states and UTs were given access, and NDRF, SDRF, and other central departments were also given access for using the NDM version 3. So what are all the salient features of NDM version 3? It has a disaster dashboard. That means without even logging, users can get alerts and warnings from forecasting agencies, and you can visualize the data, multi-scale geospatial data. All these features in detail I'll be explaining in the coming. Mobile apps for relief management and attribute collections, geotagging of emergency facility, and it has a resource management module also for allocation of essential commodities and damage statistics. Basically, this particular module is generated developed by the request of MHA, so that all the states can upload the damage statistics of a particular disaster or during the all this information will be available at one single place with the queries and the generation of statistics, bar diagrams, etc. And it has an incident reporting mechanism. This is very essential because this incident reporting mechanism is developed exclusively for NDRF officials. So NDRF customized portal and state NDM portal are integrated, so that if any particular place any incident has occurred, so that incident can be reported either through mobile apps or SMS and all. So it has an automatic approval mechanisms are there. Once incident is reported, it will be reflecting in NDRF portal as well as NDM portal. And using this automatic approval mechanisms, NDRF people can directly get into the field and take relief and rescue operations. They can start using the different decision support tools and other facilities which are available through NDM portal. So we have decision support tools, we have proximity, network analysis, and other decision support tools. And it has interaction services. So it has a communication of data exchange amongst the users. Is there data inventory is there, so that at each state what kind of a data, geospatial data is available in the form of tabular columns or charts is available. This is overall what are all the features of NDM version 3. As I already told, it is a multi-institutional mechanism with which NDM is developed, because the database is not available at one single person or single institution. So users have to share the data government level or from the central forecasting departments. So if you broadly categorize who are all the stakeholders of NDM, initially you'll have monitoring departments are there. That is MHA, NDMA, PMO, NIDM, and all these people, IDS and all. There are forecasting departments are there. That is IMD, CWC, and INCOIS, and relief and rescue forces, NDRF, SDRF, and all the state departments are there, up to disaster management officials, up to 718 districts. So all these people form the stakeholders of NDEM. So what are all the major disasters which are addressed in NDM portal from 2013 to 2020? If you can go through this thing for all the cyclone, floods, flash floods, and forest fires, earthquakes and all. So what are all the major events which are occurred from 2013 to 2020? All these disaster specific products are hosted through real time. So it has a historical database. I can say from 1998 to till date, what are all the major events are addressed. So with the available data, we have put everything in place in a systematically. It is organized in NDM portal. That NDM dashboard, I can say it is one single place, one-stop shop where you can have the information or alerts and warning are available about the weather of the country. So at one single place, users without even logging itself, they'll be able to see what is the weather across the country. So suppose the cloud movement is there. Cloud movement is from IMD, we take the cloud movement, so that if you can see the cloud movement, user can be easily able to see where the clouds are moving, so that the approximate likelihood of where the rainfall is going to occur, user can get an idea. And similarly, you have a rainfall information where it is a forecast using the weather gauge stations where the rainfall is going to have, using the observations through rain gauge stations, and CWC Central Water Commission water level. So across all major basins, it will help you to know what is the danger level at the particular river basin, what is the previous danger level it has occurred, and what is the current trend, whether it is increasing trend or decreasing trend, so that the inflow of the floods you can easily find out using the CWC water levels. And city weather forecast for next 7 days, what is the city weather forecast for all major cities in the country? Like that, some 20 products are there. So at a given this thing, user need not go to different site. All this information is compiled and kept at one single place, so that user with each can see how the weather is this thing, so that it will be easy for the decision makers to plan relief and rescue operations for evacuation. And apart from this, we have an automatic program. It will fetch that is current disaster news. Using certain keywords, it will fetch the disaster related information from all the authentic news channels and newspapers across the country, and it will try to give all the current news, and it has an option to select the historical news also. And apart from that, from social media tweets also, we take the information related to disasters. So if time permits, after the presentation, I will just take you to the portal where you can see all this information live. So this is the one-stop shop where before even login, user will be able to see the weather information at one single place. So if you broadly categorize the NDM products and services, you can say daily or seasonal products and event-based projects. So this cloud movement, meteorology, these are all the daily products users will be getting. And flood warnings and all during monsoon season, flood forecast for next 3 days during monsoon season from CWC you will be getting. And sea state forecast is from our MOSDAT. So all this information daily based you will getting. And landslide early warning you will be getting on the during the monsoon season for pilgrimage routes. And flood hazard zonation maps, whenever for each state those hazard zonation maps are there, they uploaded into an NDEM along with the multi-scale geospatial data. Heat wave, cold wave during according to the summer, during the summer and the winter seasons from MOSDAC will be giving heat wave, cold wave, this thing. And event-based disaster products, as and when disasters occurs, whether it's cyclones or earthquake locations or thunderstorms and all, whenever the disaster-specific products are generated in near real time by our Decision Support Center at NRSC, immediately these products are disseminated through NDM portal in near real time. So then, as I was telling, how this database organization is done. So that is the very first and foremost objective of NDM. So that heterogeneous data elements, central and state government organization. So there will be in different formats. Starting from the Word document to the geospatial layer, you will get the data from in different formats. So if initial this thing is, we will pool the data and integrate. Means we are getting bringing them into using a data and projection, this thing allocating, and this is again segregated into vector and raster data, basically satellite data, and into non-spatial where socio-economic data is there, census data is there. All this data is integrated and it is organized in different schemas are generated for various scales, and it is integrated in ORDBMs. We are using PostgreSQL, we are using it, and once the data is integrated and our different this thing, it is served to the users in the form of WMS service, web map service, geospatial. And once the data is there, it can be used in the NDM portal for data visualization, analysis, and decision support services are there. You can have query reports and charts. This is in a nutshell how the data is organized and so as I was telling, there's a multi-scale geospatial services. So basically what kind of data is available in NDM? So in a layman's language, if you see, if an incident has occurred at one single place, so immediately the decision maker should know where that incident has occurred. So which state, which city and which location. That means the administrative layers from state level to the district level or village level, you need to have administrative layers, and the location information also you need to have. So that forms one of the layer of the database. Once having known the location of that particular incident, you need to have what kind of facilities are available, whether it is a relief shelter or hospitals or then any other important landmarks are there around this location. Then that forms another layer of information. Then once knowing the facilities, what are all the routes are available, that means from going to one place to another. So what kind of infrastructure this thing is available, whether it is a road network or rail network or railway stations or bus stations. So all this will form a part of database. Like that, each state at 1:50,000 will have different layers starting from base layers. You have state, district, village boundaries, administrative layers are there, road network is there, rail network, drainage information, canal, coastline, river, and settlement area. All these things will form. Here, these are thematic layers are basically they are delineated from our satellite imagery. And suppose land use land cover map is there, from that one can find out where the urban settlements are there. Suppose an incident has occurred in the urban, this thing, that impact is more as compared to when it happens in the forestry area or which is a less populated area. So then like this, each and every source of information will be useful in the disaster management. So the thematic layers are that derived from satellite imagery, and similarly infrastructure layers are there, railway stations, hospitals, helipads, river gauge stations are there, point of interest are there, and non-spatial data is there, socioeconomic data, census data, health data is there, and raster imagery is there, that satellite data starting from 5 meters to submerged data is there. And similarly, disaster specific products are there, that is flood, cyclone, forest fires, natural disasters. As and when the data is generated, it will be organized in NDEM. So as I was telling, at 1:50,000 scale, the data is organized state-wise. So from state-wise data looks like this. So from a state level, country level data to city-wise, this thing at different zoom levels, you can see the data in NDM portal. At 1:10,000 scale, the data is organized district-wise. That means the Ministry of Home Affairs has identified 350 multi is organized to 1:10,000 scale. So at around the city, this thing around 496 class 1 towns or cities, the data is organized in at 1:2,000, 1:4,000 scale. The data is organized. So apart from that, the point of interest plays a very vital role during relief and rescue operations. So we have more than 12 million point of interest currently which are available at the NDM portal. That means this point of information, they are ranging from community centers, 10 major categories are there. That is in community centers, again subcategories in there are schools are there, government offices are there, fire stations are there. All this information is very vital because any of this can be used as a relief shelter during relief and rescue operations. Transport bus stops are there, this thing, all this information is updated quarterly, and residential places are there, health services including the blood banks, even eye banks, hospitals, nursing homes, and dental hospitals. What are all the best possible information, including spa, gym, all this information is available across the country. Tourist spots are there, and commercial services where all having industrial areas are there, oil and petroleum, this thing, and shopping malls. So all this information is available into 10 major categories. So this is to plays a vital role during management. So apart from the vector data, what we are having to complement the data, vector data for a better visualization. So we have the raster services, that is basically satellite data ranging from 5.8 meter to sub-meter resolution we have. So from the state level to the city level, very high resolution data, different resolution data, how they look like, here it is demonstrated. Yeah. So once it is, as I told, it is a web portal. So the home page of this, once you log in into MHA credentials, this will look like this. As I was telling, it is a closed group, user group portal. It is not a public user needs to have credentials to log into this portal. So it has two types of logins. One is state government login and other is the central government login. So as I said, because it is a multi-institutional participation, different people will be sharing the data with us. So when you log in with the state government user credentials, user will be able to see only pertains to that particular state. That is, suppose if you log in with the Andhra Pradesh credentials, you'll be able to see the data of Andhra Pradesh. Whereas if you are logging with the central government login, like Ministry of Home Affairs or PMO office or NRSC, you'll be able to see the data of all the 37 states and districts. That means here the login page, home page after logging of central, this thing will look like that. So you can select any one state, and in that, what are all different layers are available, what kind of decision support tools and mobile apps are available, one will be able to see this. So as I was telling, it has a structured repository of a seamless uniform database for the entire country. So base, thematic and infrastructure layers are there. For each layers, state 35 layers of data is available. And one can see from state level to street level zoom levels. Total around 11 zoom levels are there in the current version. So one can zoom in from state to this kind of finer details. You can see up to road other related multi-spatial data. And it has more than 12 million point of interest are there. Satellite imageries are there from Cartosat 1 and ResourceSat 1 and 2 data, and high resolution data better than 1 meter resolution is also available. Decision support tools are there, and disaster specific products, pre and post scenarios, what are for all possible natural disasters are disseminated. As I was telling, disaster specific products are available from 1998 to till date, which is knowledge database, we can say. Using that, we can find out with where it is frequently it is flooding, which areas, which districts are frequently getting affected. Using this knowledge, find out. And using the disaster dashboard, I can, as I told you, the latest disaster news without even logging, and social media news are there. And IDRN data is an Indian Disaster Resource Network that is also integrated in NDM portal, where one can find out so how where the disaster related equipment are available, quantity, where it is available, that kind of information in the geospatial visualization you can find out. And daily seasonal products are available. So all these things are deployed in Linux platform for that fail-safe mode of configuration. Yeah, as I was telling, from that, this is a 2.5 meter color products of satellite, and very high resolution data less than 1 meter, and color data of this, and with how the disaster specific products are there, the inundation, flood inundation maps, forest fire maps, how they are there, and landslide maps, all these disaster specific products along with the for better visualization are organized and visualized in NDM portal. So when you're talking about decision support tools, we have different decision support tools are there. For example, proximity tool is there. Using this proximity tool, one can easily click on any side of the map, so that from there you buffer, you can find out what kind of emergency facilities are available around that particular point within a given buffer. Either it can be relief shelters or hospitals or community centers, one can find out. So users can get a report as well as a visualization in the map. And the report also contains from the incident point in what kind of a distance it is available, and if the address is available in total, address and contact number, that kind of information. In the descending order, it will give you the total report. One user can reprint also, or it can save in the form of PDF also. So then another thing is route analysis. In the route analysis, from one point to another, source and destination point, you can find out two kind of routes. One is with respect to time, and another is with respect to distance. So user can find out different this thing. And user also have an option to create a barrier. Suppose if any tree fall is there, suppose this particular area is inundated with floods and all, so he can avoid this particular route and take an alternate route also. So it has an option to create a barrier and obstacle. So this is a route analysis tool. And add user specific data. Suppose user has any other geospatial data which is not available in them, he can use that particular vector data in standard AS form, so that from this you can do the analysis. But this particular data won't be stored in NIDM database. For visualization purpose, user will be allowed to add this particular user specific data tool is also available. And multi-layer analysis, so user this special analysis tool will enable, so suppose if you have any flood inundation layer is there, so you want to know, if you draw a particular AOA, user will be knowing like which inundation and what is the damage status area, and how many districts in that particular area got inundated, or up to village level information also. It will intersect with the disaster specific layer and then give you the information statistically. So apart from this multi-scale geospatial database and interaction, the decision support tools, it has one more important component is interaction portal. This interaction portal is, there are two types. One is it is enabled with SMS. So user will be able to send the SMS from the portal to the user, and to the this thing two-way communication it can happen, that in SMS this thing, and each SMS communication is two-way communication, you can have it, and it has a capability of broadcasting as a one-to-one, one-to-many communication also can happen. It has an email system also, that is apart from Yahoo Go, so it has an inbuilt email system where user can interact, create their own groups and send email, and attach some files also, up to 5 MB files also, they can share the information amongst the users. So actually I can say NIDM is a one-stop shop where you have a database, where you have decision support tools. It has interaction portal also, so that all the communication, all the decision making can happen through the portal in integrated manner. And once that, how the products dissemination are done. So it has through internet we are doing this particular dissemination is done, and it is served in the form of WMS service. Up to district level users we are serving using the username and password. As a standby this thing, it has data can be the portal can be accessed through VPN domain also. Currently some 27 states are having this particular VPN nodes, and later this government is going to extend this particular VPN network to 350 multi-hazard prone districts also, as a backup when they during internet is not working. As a backup, this thing VPN domain is also used for disseminating these products. So what are the different formats which are having the data is being disseminated? Suppose it is in the form of a web portal using username and passwords. You can say this is the dashboard. Without even user logging, a user can see the dashboard services they can access. And the same thing they can use in the geo portal through mobile also. And recently we have developed NIDM mobile, that is APK, which can be directly used as an app, NIDM app. So that is going to release shortly, that is NIDM Lite. And in the form of formats are there, that is we are getting web services, integration of web services from other portals like IMD, CWC and all. And our own data for what is organized in this thing, it is served in the form of WMS service. And in the kind of risk maps and other maps we have generated in the GeoPDF formats or cyclone tracks, risk maps. They are distributing to user in the form of a GeoPDF formats, and in the form of SMS alerts and warning also the information is being disseminated. And similarly, in the WhatsApp also will be snapshots of this GeoPDF formats also sent for immediate information sending mechanism. And in the form of emails also we disseminate the information. So in these different formats, the data is disseminated in near real time, so that that the timely information is very much crucial during the disasters. So apart from that, we are having various mobile applications are also developed in NIDM platform. One is, as already intimated, incident reporting mechanism. So this incident is reported with the location, and user also has an option to take the photograph and upload, so that the person who is sitting in the control room will be able to visualize the incident location in the portal along with photographs or situational assessment. Similarly, we have, and this particular app is integrated into NDRF, so that the state government officials as well as NDRF, SDRF officials also will be able to see the incident and along with the situational assessment. We have a relief management app is there, which has 4 different modules are there. starting from distress call. Distress call is like an SOS. User is not even having time to breathe. In that case, just at the click of a button, he can send, so that that information means that particular latitude and longitude will be reflected in a control room, so that that person will know that who is sending that this thing as a distress call, some help is needed. This thing, so that some action can be done in the person who is sitting from the control room. And the next is emergency call. So user will be having an option to just select, suppose there is a requirement of medical or food or water. The drop down menu, he'll be able to select the data, and along with the latitude, longitude, the information will be sent to the control room. Then first information call and summary report are having a little breathing time, so that they can send the field photographs also, multiple photographs also they can take it, and they can give a brief description of the particular incident, and that can be communicated to the control room. So this is in a nutshell about the relief management is this thing. All this data can be visualized in the NDM portal once it is sent. And geospatial data collection, basically, it is during a non-disaster or emergency situation. If you want to enrich the database, this is one app through which you can enrich. Suppose I am having in Hyderabad, I am having a database of maybe I can say some 20-30 hospitals are there. Some new hospitals or new facilities have come up. If you want to this thing, using this map, you can geotag that particular facility along with the attribute information, means what is the specialization of particular hospital, how many beds are there, whether ambulance facility is available. With that kind of an information, user can geotag this particular thing and update, enrich the database, so that it can be used during the disasters time. Not only this thing, even the schools and all other information also they can geotag and keep it. Anything can be used as a relief shelter during the disasters. So once after geotagging, offline also they can update the attribute informations, so that for each different facilities, different attributes are designed as per the user's requirement. We can customize this attribute form also. And there's another option is there, geotagging of emergency facilities. In this, what is the difference between these two is user need to go to the field to collect the information, whereas this particular option, user can use online maps for geotagging the facilities using online maps. So these are all the 4 different mobile apps are available in NDM, and this thing are integrated in the coming version as a one single app, so that user can use it without downloading all the 4 maps. So all these APKs are available in the NDM homepage itself. User can download user credentials are required for using this mobile apps. But during emergency management, that we have one crowdsourcing app is there, that will be enabled even to the public during the disaster situation. Otherwise, it is restricted only to the state disaster management up to district disaster management officials. So as I already told you, our services are extended to NDRF officials also. This in NDM state portals, the data is organized state-wise. As I told you, each user can use only their particular state data. But in the case of NDRF is concerned, it has 12 battalions across the country. So the data is organized battalion-wise. Suppose if you take a 10th battalion, it has 3 states in the area of responsibility in the 10th battalion. So in the 10th battalion, you have Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and as well as Karnataka. So the battalion head, when he logs in with the battalion 10 user credentials, he'll be able to see the data of all the 3 states. Similarly, NDRF headquarters, the data is also organized as a 12 battalion kind of a thing. Conducted exclusive training programs to NDRF officials. Mock drills were also conducted for each training program. So that the mock drills means we simulate incident, whether it could be building collapse incident or it could be a fire accident or something, starting from the incident reporting to giving a summary or closeout report, and what kind of how the battalion logging, how the state portal is integrated with NDRF portal, what kind of a decision support tool used, like a standard operating procedure with the step-by-step details, so how the portal services can be utilized by NDRF officials is demonstrated during this mock drill exercises. So when I'm telling incident approval system, So actually battalions supposed to get an approval from their headquarters. It has an inbuilt automatic approval system. Suppose if incident is not approved by battalion, within half an hour automatically it will be approved. That kind of a mechanism is inbuilt into this. So with a step-by-step procedure, mock drill exercise, and we have campus also in the battalion, this thing also, so that it will, with the advent of the technology what we are using, it will ease the turnaround time. It will lessen the turnaround time for relief and rescue operations. So these are all the field photographs while conducting the mock drills were taken by NDF officials. So apart from that, we have a resource management module is available. In this resource management module, it will enable us to allocate and reallocate the essential commodities. Users will have an option of creating a godown to maintain what is the inventories available, and then how that allocation is done, and reports are generated, and how it can be visualized on the map. So where it is available, all this kind of, and they can generate the reports also, and the query, the analysis is also there. This is an important resource management application is required during disasters. It can be a human resources also, or it can be any food or medicines. So any kind of resource you can manage with inventory and allocation, where it is allocated, to whom it is allocated. So which is that kind of well-planned management module is available in NIDM apart from the multi-skill geospatial database. So we have capacity buildings also. So as and when new version is planned, so we conduct training programs at various locations. Till now, we have conducted from 2013 to 2020. So we are conducting various training programs. So in the 250 officials are trained in the 1920 in this thing, and currently we are doing online this thing based on the requirement of the state government. So the self-training materials are there. Users can download the mobile apps manuals, mock drill exercise manuals are there, and user manuals are there. They can be downloaded. They are available in our homepage. And we have MOUs and collaborations with the state government and NDRF and all. We customize our portals to suit the requirement of respective state government, and so that they also want to have the data at one place, so that they can use the data at one place, and using decision support tools, it can cater to relief and rescue operations. And some appreciations and all are received from various this thing. And coming to the new version that is ready for release, which has new features are there. So it has enhanced disaster dashboard services. Apart from the existing new services, seasonal products are also we have integrated. More number of decision support tools are there. Some evacuation plan is there. Special query builders are there. This is the first this thing where incorporated post-disaster needs assessment PDNA tools for and knowing the damage assessment and all, how it can be used for reconstruction mechanism. And from we are attempting 3D visualization in NDM version 4 is concerned, and we are extending regional language support. In current version, we are having only bilingual, so we are extending the regional language support in coming versions. And anyway, include multi-scale database, and rendering is from different zoom levels. Currently, we are having around 11 zoom levels. From 17 zoom levels, you can see the information starting from the state to street level. So with different zoom levels, and dynamic scale-based rendering is done with new SVG icons for better visualization and all. More latest satellite imagery is also included, so for better visualization. More number of point of interest with the quarterly updates are there. And NDM Mobile Lite, I was telling, it is going to have an Android-based APK for NDM version 4. So this is in a nutshell about the coming version, which is ready for release. Maybe in this year, we will be launching this NDM version 4. So thank you for this thing.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is so many questions for you, but we will take only 2 or 3 questions, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, one question is from research scholar. He is working on cloud computing for post-disaster management. His concern is how the scholars, means research scholars, allowed to explore or attend the NDEM training program?
Ma'am, actually, NDM training program currently we are conducting only to state officials. But so whenever we are conducting to this thing, we can include their this thing into our this thing. They can have that training program, no issue. They can be in touch with us. But access is restricted to only the disaster management officials are concerned. Okay, so special permission should be taken for accessing the portal, because portal access is meant for during emergency situation. It should not be loaded with the public. That's the main aim of this. But of course, for training, no issue. We can give the training, not at all concern. Yeah.
Ma'am, next question. Could any flood event at local scale? If yes, then which modeling technique has been used for the same?
Ma'am, actually, this particular is yesterday. I think they must have listened to Mr. Durga, Dr. Durga presentation. Okay, so what are all the modeling techniques? Is that models what they have generated for Godavari and Tapi river? This thing, no, they are going to be incorporated in NDM. NDM per se, it will not simulate or this thing. So it will integrate the data from the various this thing, either from early warning or from the preparedness this thing. So that data will be integrated here. So per se, NDM does not do any modeling or simulation activity. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, to be with us. And now for the second presentation, there is a slight change in the schedule because Professor Surya Prakash has urgent meeting, so he is not able to join us. So instead of him, my colleague, Mr. Anil Kathat, young professional, Center for Hill Area Development, GMR Division, National Institute of Disaster Management, will give the presentation, and he is the postgraduate in geology with over 8.5 years of experience in the field of landslide hazard management and disaster management. Prior to joining NIDM, he has worked with some of the prestigious organizations such as United Nations Development Programme, National Institute of Urban Affairs, and Central Road Research Institute. He penned 20 research papers on various aspects of hazard mitigation and management, contributed in drafting the engineering guideline on landslide mitigation measures for Indian roads. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Harjeet.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your voice is not clear, so it's better
Dr.
if you
Harjeet has
can.
mentioned that was supposed to join us for the lecture, but due to some inevitable work, he's not able to join. I am talking about, yeah. Now it's okay. It's not coming.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Now it's clear,
Hello,
sir.
Dr.
Now it's
Harjeet.
clear.
Hello.
Now it's your voice is clear, sir.
Now it's okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, it's still your voice is not clear,
Landslides
sir.
are
Please
normal
off
process
your video,
of
sir.
landscape forming. This process has been occurring since the emergence
off
of
your video.
and shall continue to occur as a dynamic oil pro.
Am I audible, sir?
I have
Your
done
voice is
now.
not clear, sir.
You are audible.
Yes. Okay, sir. Sir,
I'm not
actually,
sure.
your voice is breaking. So we are not clear to listen your message.
Now it's okay. Now my voice is fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, so I will discuss monitoring of critical landslide using satellite-based positioning system. And as I mentioned, that landslide are considered a part of normal process of a landscape forming. All this process have been occurring since inception of the earth and shall continue to occur as a dynamic earth process system. But such a statement should not be understood in a sense of naturally occurring landslide process without human intervention. The same process, however, give rise to concern when they cause loss of life property of a bigger magnitude. The highways and roads constructed across the hills and mountains of Himalayan terrains face severe landslide problem. The frequency of their occurrence is so high that the states generally find themselves helpless in properly addressing restoration issues as well as rehabilitation and short-term, long-term mitigation and management issues. The most disturbing fact is that the phenomena is repeated every year and the cost only on restoration work increased extremely. Even the best constructed highways suffer the repeated onslaught of landslide and similar process. So I will be discussing two case studies studies of two notice slides on National Highway 58 of Uttarakhand that I have worked on when I was associated with Center Road Research Institute. Actually, the work I'm going to present is part of project that I was a part during my initial career days at Center Road Research Institute. Dr. Harjit, my PPT is visible?
It's clear, sir.
Okay. So as I mentioned, I will be discussing two notorious, and that was part of my project at Center Research Institute. The first landslide is Colossal landslide. It is a complex slope failure case having more than one mode of sliding that has been creating crisis at kilometer 147 on the strategic National Highway 58 of Galwal region of Uttarakhand for century. This landslide initiated in so the landslide is nearly a century old one, and since then it is a great source of concern. It has repeatedly activated many times in 52, 60, 1963, 69, 72, 1984, in recent years, 2010, in as well as in episode of Kedarnath tragedy of 2013. In between of minor events of sliding, the landslide has experienced many major slides too. For example, on 19 September 1969, the slide witnessed a major collapse which blocked the 3/4 of the river flowing at about 100 meters below the road level. There was a complete disruption of traffic on the road, and a 300-meter stretch of the road was badly bridged. Again, in 1970, 71, and in 72, the landslide recovered and communication could be stored only providing new rock cuts of the length of around 220. So, Institute, a laboratory of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research with aim to monitor the movement in the colossal landslide, install several numbers of specially designed steel pedestals that identify location slopes of landslide for monitoring the deformation. The initial position of installed on the slope have been plotted on the digital map after after fixing the position of each pedestal with the help of differential global position system. The second time monitoring was done after the monsoon, and this was followed by third time monitoring and so on. Basically, monitoring was done pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. Monitoring of pedestal revealed that out of 75 pedestals, only a few experienced significant amount of movement. It was noticed that the pedestal installed within the slide mount indicate much of the movement except at only two locations. These two locations are on loose debris deposition, and rest of the pedestal which have shown some movement are located near and above crown part, indicating active movement above it. The movement of the pedestal on the slope in correlation with rainfall. You can see from this graph, the landslide gets reactivated during every rainy season. Intensity of slide varies depending upon the amount and duration of rainfall. Rainfall amount in this area have been found varying in different months of the year. Most of the rainfall received during the month of June to September. In the month of June to September 2010, when a major reactivation was taken place at that place, rainfall broke all the records of past years, sufficient to reactivate the slidings. In terms of economic losses, landslides are responsible for considerable socio-economic losses that is generally recognized. But the actual losses due to landslide are still top role of secondary player after primary disasters such as earthquake and floods. Landslide are not given their due in number of death as well as socio-economic losses. In year 2010, when the Kalesar landslide was reactivated, Central Road Research Institute conducted a study to figure out losses due to the closure of the highway at kilometer 147. Area unit cost estimation method was used to estimate the cost of indirect landslide losses related to highway closure during September to October in 2010. This method is applicable whenever a unit variable is known. That is, whenever we have number of days an area is affected, and the associated unit cost loss per day can be determined. And this is the general equation that we have calculate the detour cost. This is height of Kalesar at kilometer 147, and due to the of this highway at this point, travelers have to force to travel detour through this bypass road. When a road is closed, travel moves the detours that take longer travel distance to reach the destination. Cost of outage can be estimated by impact of detour on travels. Closure of National Highway 58 at Kalesar slide force travelers to detour through bypass Khirakhal, Kandai, having distance of around 28. To calculate the cost of this detour, we examined traffic pattern along the highways and estimated the average daily traffic by putting the required values of parameters mentioned in equation. Detour cost, extra operating cost, daily traffic plus extra fuels into fuel price into additional daily traffic. By putting the required values in this equation, the total cost for 45 days 40 days during the month of September to October 2010 was nearly around 2.5 crore. This indirect cost of detour is still a low estimate at not include other business ramifications like loss of access to local resources and associate losses of business at local shops, restaurants, tourist sites, and hotels, and so on. So this is the example of the indirect cost due to that a relative simple application of unit cost method for highway closure impact in colossal area. On the type of movement and other geotechnical scrutiny, some remedial measures were suggested to stabilize the slope. Since at this location, the main problem is of rock and debris fall of the fractured rock and overburdened material, it was thought to prevent the falling mass so that it does not highway and also doesn't damage the slope. Therefore, the steep face crest, which is vulnerable for sudden detachment of rock, is required to be treated for prevention of dislodged rock falling from the part. It is also suggested to cover the slope with a steel rope net to stabilize the steep crest part. This kind of stabilization is not intended to avoid the movement of the blocks, but it will control rocks, debris falling, bouncing, and rolling on the surface of the slope downhill and avoid damaging the highways. This will also help in uninterrupted maintenance of the highways and minimizing risk to the traveling public. The second notice landslide on the National Highway 58 is Patal Ganga landslide. It is moderate landslide located at kilometer 460 on National Highway 58 on the right bank of Patal Ganga River. The slope material of the landslide area is composed of recently sediments, largely of moraine with steep slope of about 70 to 90 degree. Of July 1917, Patal Ganga and the subsequent in Alaknanda River, which brought in loss to the life and property of unprecedented magnitude, was a real catastrophe for the Himalayan region. It was during this catastrophe even this slide was developed at a place of a small hamlet which was completely washed off. Since then, the landslide is repeatedly occurring during every monsoon. At the toe of the slide, there is a narrow gorge over which a bridge is connects in National Highway 58. You can see in the peak in 1970, the bridge position was here. After the episode of Alaknanda tragedy and landslide on Dam Lake outbreak for flood, the have to be shifted in 1990 here, and later on this is the current position of position. Again, this slide has the narrow gorge and form an artificial dam which on breaching may was the breach and recreate the historical flash flood situation of that in 1970 of Alaknanda, which has then blocked the river Alaknanda and around 45 to 50 meter high artificial dam within a short span of time. Again, to behavior of Patal Ganga landslide, Central Research Institute has installed around 60 to 65 number of specially designed steel pedestals in the landslide body, and their original position was fixed using DGPS. The pedestals were monitored before and after the monsoon season as were monitored in the Kalasor landslide. The slide thrice, the movement of the pedestal is attributed to the movement of the blocks formed by dilation and shear fracture in the main body resting on the slip surface on which pedestals were installed. Monitoring of the Patal Ganga landslide depict that it has shallow kind of movement. Movement of lower magnitude has been observed in the upper part of the landslide area. Magnitude movement has been recorded in the lower part of the landslide area. It depicts the erosion in the toe parts, the erosion in the parts during rainy season. Some remedial measures were also suggested for the Patal Ganga landslide. You can see in the slide. Laning for a height of 5 meters at the ground portion of the slide was suggested, and 4 meter high gabion at the toe of the slide to prevent erosion and meandering of Patalganga River were designed and suggested to prevent the rills and gullies. Longitudinal and transverse drain were suggested to collect the surface runoff. Also conducted landslide susceptibility potential as analysis of Patalganga basin. It was carried out in order to set based on their vulnerability for landslide. The landslide inventory map has been prepared using the satellite imagery of the area, and the result has been verified through the field visit. The frequency ratio method has been used for susceptibility assessment. The frequency ratio is the ratio of the area where landslide occurred to the total study area, and also it is the ratio of the probability occurrence to a non-occurrence for a given factors attribute. Therefore, the above unity, the stronger the relationship between landslide occurrence and the given factor attributes, and the power and the ratio below unity, the lesser the relationship between landslide occurrence and the given factor attributes. To calculate the frequency ratio constructed for each landslide related factor, these were the landslide related factors that were considered for preparation of landslide susceptibility map. Landslide occurrence and non-occurrence was calculated for each type of factor, and the area ratio for each type of factor to the total area was calculated. The frequency ratio for each range or type of factor was calculated by dividing the landslide occurrence ratio by the area ratio. Finally, the landslide susceptibility map of the area was prepared by overlapping the map of all the variables depicting the frequency ratio. The map shows this landslide susceptibility map shows that the inner areas are basically more vulnerable, more susceptible to landslide. The areas surrounding the higher susceptible area are moderately susceptible to landslide, and the landsliding initiating activities like earthquake or heavy rainfall can lead to occurrence of landslide in these areas. So there are some way forward need to capitalize the modern space technology in all phases of disaster management. Our Honorable Prime Minister India, Shri Modi, in his 10 mantras for disaster risk reduction and resilience, urged to fully utilize the advantages of modern technology to enhance the efficiency of our disaster risk management effort. So we need to capitalize the modern space technology in all phases of disaster management, from preparedness, prevention to recovery and response. Second one is area of potential hazard should also be considered. Again, in PM Agenda Point 4, advocate investing in risk that we have a common understanding of nature and severity of disaster risk. So apart from disaster, we should also look after the area that have potential to create disaster in future. And the third one is holistic multi-hazard management approach. The characteristics of the disaster are changing with time. Disaster are frequent and fierce, as well as they are coming scheme buy one and get one free. Take a recent example. While we are jolted by the COVID-19 pandemic, at the same time, India faces severe cyclones and floods episodes that wreak havoc on our community. Therefore, our approach, our planning should, our planning to manage the disaster should not be done in silos. The need of our for a holistic multi-hazard approach for a disaster-resilient India. Need to mainstream our mainstream disaster risk reduction, resilience studies in our every activities, in our every development activities, as was urged by Honorable Prime Minister of India in his very first point. So that's all, and now over to you, Dr. Ajit.
Sir, there is one question. What strategy should to adopt to control the episodes of landslide in Himalayan terrain?
Like I mentioned in my, I'm audible now? Ajit, I am audible?
Yes.
Like I mentioned in my talk earlier, that landslide are normal process of landscape for transformation. These are a way of nature modification is attributes. Concern arise when we exploit it without considering the consequences of our activities. So we need to respect the law of nature. We should synchronize our development activities as per the attributes of our slopes, like our Honorable Prime Minister highlighted in his 10-point mantra for DRR, that we should mainstream DRR in each and every development related activities to ensure the safety of our people, infrastructure, and environment. So which in our every activities we have to consider, whenever we are going for any activities in our slope, we have to also consider the consequences of the development, like the probability of a landslide while we are carrying out a certain activities.
What is the role of this technology in managing the risk of disaster like landslide?
Space technologies are crucial for every phase of disaster management, whether it is preparedness, prevention, or rescue and response. It is had key role in assessing the risk of disaster, for their preparedness, for in mitigation plan for disaster, also in early warning and prediction of certain disaster. Like in case of cyclone, with help of these modern technologies, India is able to reduce the number of fatalities. If you take example of this Orissa cyclone of 1999 to our current cyclone event, we have better early warning and prediction forecasting system by which we are able to reduce the number of fatalities. So we should endeavor this in managing the other disaster also. And if we talk about the landslide, it is evident that with proper research studies, we can predict the slow failure through modern technologies.
Thank you very much, sir, to join us. And now our technical session is end. So I would request my colleague, Mr. Raju Thapa, working for Early Warning Communication Center, NIDM, to propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit Kaur. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this very special occasion of the second day of training program. So first of all, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Y.S. Rao, CSRE, IIT Bombay, and P. Sri Lakshmi, Head, EDSS, DMSG, NRSC, and also Mr. Anil Kathat, YP, NIDM, for sparing their precious time from their busy schedule and for providing encouragement, knowledge, and sharing their vast experience with all of our participants. I also express my thanks to Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal, Executive Director, recipient of Visesh Seva Medal, NIDM, for his encouragement and support in all our endeavors. And I will take this opportunity to also thank Sri Santanu Chaudhary, Director, NRSC, ISRO, for his support in organizing this training program. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Dr. KHV Durga Rao, Group Head, DMSG, RSA, NRSC, and Professor Surya Prakash, who are the coordinator of this training program, for organizing this very important training program. I heartily congratulate all the participants for their active participation in this event, and they joined us despite the technical issue and disturbance that we faced today in the earlier. We are very thankful to all the participants also. And some important announcement for the participant. There is no feedback link for today. So tomorrow is the last day of the training program. So we will share the feedback link tomorrow in the end of the session. And regarding your attendance for certification, your attendance is automatically recorded by the Cisco software. So you don't need to worry about your attendance. And regarding tomorrow, so I request all the participants to join us tomorrow in this event at the same time using the same link. With this, thank you very much for joining us in this important session. Over to you.
Raju, thank you very much. And for participants, I really want to thank for being with us and keep participating. There is a famous proverb said by Julia that learning is the eye of the mind. And education is not how much you have committed to memory or even how much you know. It's being able to differentiate between what you do know and what you don't. So happy learning, stay healthy, stay safe. Dhanyavad. Now I request our host to end the meeting. I request host to end the meeting.
Raju, should I close now?
Yes, sir. We can close the meeting, sir.
Okay.